Break family, welcome to another episode of our show, and it's Double or Nothing weekend, also Memorial Day weekend. So hope all of you are enjoying. Thank you for being with us one more time, and we had a lot to talk about because this pay per view was extremely long, and of course AEW they love to do that. But at least we had some good matches, a lot of controversies. We didn't know if NJF was going to actually wrestle or not. A lot of things happened. A lot of drama happened yesterday night,
Yes.
lot of speculations. But in the end, he actually opened the show. So we're not going to talk about the buy-in because nobody watches that. But Paul, third year of Double or Nothing. So is it getting better? Is it getting bad? Worse? What's going on with that?
You know what? If you really focused on the main matches here, and that's what you gave us, I think this show would have been better. A lot of these matches that should have been good and looked good on paper suffered because of a lot of the other matches we had to sit through. So, good matches suffered on this show. Some of them, I think, no, they got through that and they were good regardless. Some of them, some kind of head scratchers to me, but I mean, I don't know. I think this show, the pay-per-views always do good. I think the overall reception of this will be good, but for me,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they've been better in the past, but I do like the ending to the main event, and I like the opening match here just because of the controversial way it was done. I think
Yeah,
it was
and also
controversial
there
anyway.
was a few debuts, a lot.
Yes.
AEW always try to gives you stuff like that, so at least we gotta commend them for that. Like you said, thank you so very much to every single one of you. Once again, we hope that you're enjoying your weekend. And Double or Nothing, like I said, it started with MJF Wardlow. A lot of controversy, a lot of speculation because MJF had left, had requested an airplane to leave Las Vegas and all of that. A lot of controversy with Tony Khan about the contract. Is he going to give me more money? Am I overperforming everybody else? I feel that if he gave him more money, rightfully so, just because MJF in the storyline that they're trying to tell with Wardlow, he was it's better than anything else that they have. And also, you need this guy because it's AEW's own. Everybody else is WWE. So at least MJF, if he's asking for more money, give it to him. Because all of those talents are going to go to WWE.
Yeah, and everybody says that, and the way that this match played out, it's one of those things where I almost think that he is going to WWE, unless this is a complete let's put Wardlow over, but I don't think you do that with MJF. MJF could have did something that he got Wardlow with the ring early on. He could have did something that the match was competitive, that a guy like MJF hung in there. But it was just the Kevin Owens Goldberg. Oh,
Yeah.
I go in the ring. Oh, I run out. Oh, I get this. And as soon as MJF got caught, as soon as Wardlow got him, and it's like a boom power bomb, it was
10
over.
power bombs.
It was over.
Yeah.
MJF didn't, there was no comeback. He didn't slide out and get a nut shot and then a big comeback, salt of the earth. Oh my God, he almost tapped out. Oh, no comeback. He said it was dragged out. Wardlow would, he'd lift his foot off him to break the 3 count. No. And he power bomb him again. And he said over and over 10 times, and they just buried him. And is this one of the things where did MJF go, yeah, this is cool, and he's going to keep working here? Or did he go, yeah, I'm going to do this, but now this is what I'm going to do, but I'm out. This is, I'll do the job, but I'm leaving. I'll do it old school.
Is what I'm hearing also is this is the way that they were doing this to write him off TV. So there's a maybe time for them to either settle the contract or let the contract run down, because the contract's supposed to expire January 1st of 2024.
Yeah, so there's no way he's sitting and not wrestling for that long. There's no way.
Yeah, so maybe they can work something out, but at least they were able to have him work because he did not show to the fan fest, and that's what sparked the speculations and all of that. Samoa Joe didn't show up to that either, but that was miscommunication. So you need to be here. No, I forgot. So a lot of things. This pay-per-view has been a little dramatic in a lot of things, but like you said, MJF in the end does the job. Wardlow is massive now. Very similar like Goldberg. They were saying also that Goldberg might fit in for MJF. Of course, they got to spark speculation that was completely untrue. But at least, the guy gets his contract on AEW, so Wardlow is actually now a superstar there. So this is cool. Again, MJ, we don't know the future yet, but like you said, I feel that he will be the second guy to jump ship to WWE. They have so much to store so they can ride with him. The guy is great on the mic. He's a decent wrestler, so why not? So Paul, tell me a little bit about this. We've seen this before in the indie scene. Hardy Boys against the Young Bucks. Here the Hardys had to win. Why? Because everybody's been complaining about the way that they've been booked.
You know what?
Two.
If I was just for this match, if the build to it was shit, even bringing in Gangrel and doing all that, no, that wasn't even done very well. The build has just been awful, and the match itself, watching it, way too long, first of all. But if you took the match and you did some editing and you cut out a lot of spots and you kind of condensed it, maybe made it 12 minutes long, 10 minutes long, not a bad match. Some of the stuff in here I did like, okay, and the crowd was into it a little bit. They pop for Jeff, and the one thing about the Hardys though is some of the spots they do in here, it's not good to be doing at their age. It doesn't look good.
They're still trying to go, like the way that they started out, like
and Jeff cut a promo like that, like, oh, we're not the Hardys that we used to be, but we're gonna go out there and we're gonna try and blah blah blah. Like, it's like, maybe we wish you didn't, but I'm glad that they put them over, but a couple spots I didn't like that you see in the normal spots where it's like, oh, kick me, and then they hit the it's dramatic, it's drawn out, clearly it's like an opera, total, cooperation and stuff. But I'm glad
when they did a super kick on Sting, remember?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm glad the Hardys won, but to me, what do you do with them? Do you move them on to now? The titles, but then now with who we got, in the match we're going to talk about later on, which I don't think the winner is a lot of people predicted, babyface versus babyface. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
yeah, you're right. I mean, but like you said, like we saw all the old school stuff, Whisper in the Wind. We saw the Swanton Bomb. We saw all of that. So at least in the end, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, like they're able to
the Swanton, onto the steel steps onto the outside. That's one of the spots that's like, no, thank you. I don't want to see Jeff die.
And then they wonder what, like, he lives out of painkillers. They wonder what, like, he does sometimes those things that like people don't like, but it's because the guy does moves that like absolutely are like, if he was like gonna be 80 by the time that like his career, now it's gonna be 70. Not even shorter, but there you go. I mean, they get paid really good. Jeff Hardy makes that choice. That's fine. So let's go now to Jade Cargill and Anna Jay for the TBS Championship. This is just, another one. Do you think that Jade was going to lose to Anna Jay? It was never going to happen. At least she put on a good match, I think, for me at least. Really interesting to see. But Jay in the end, does the glam slam. I like that move. So remember the good days of Beth Phoenix. But in the end, that's not what's worth to comment. It's just because the inclusion of Statlander, Malcolm Bivens, a guy that we used to like see on NXT 2.0 or NXT also. He debuts on AEW, and also Amber Moon. So like, I mean, kind of like it sucks that like you debut and you don't have a singles match, so you show up to just support somebody else. But at least more girls are added into this women division. We get to see also Kiera Hogan right there, also Red Velvet. So this is just creating more factions. Do I think that is the right idea? You have so many women, 2 titles. You need to start like doing more with this division stuff.
No, because see, you were pushing. To comment on the match itself, I thought it was pretty good. Anna Jay, I think, is all right. She's getting better, and she's
probably her best match.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. She's not a slouch. It's not like, oh, she's just hot and that's the end of it. No, I think she wants to be good in the ring and get better. And Jade, to me, they present her legit. I mean, the only thing is, when Anna Jay was using the title belt, but it's like, are you a babyface? Whatever. But to me, should have been on a pay-per-view. That's the thing. Not with 10 matches. This would have been one to cut unless you were not going to have like a Kyle O'Reilly and the Jericho bullshit match and a couple of these others. Then you can include this, but and also with her hair, she looks like Bianca Belair and Asuka, like had a baby or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know, like she's
then after the match, Chris Statlander comes out. And I thought, okay, that's a woman who I could believe beating Jade. They're both big, both strong, muscular. Okay, that's believable. Then the music hits, and then Amber Moon comes out.
The fallen goddess, they call her.
And that's like the thing where Daniel Bryan came out, after Adam Cole. It's like, well, what am I supposed to? Is it Chris Statlander who you're pushing? Are you pushing Ember Moon? Because they're like, oh, they're both could be #1 contenders and blah, 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 and this and that. And, or is she going to come here and just do the job like she did in NXT?
Oh, yeah. We'll see what happens, but at least another girl is being added. But again, this is going to be the same booking as Ruby. We're going to talk about Ruby in a little bit. So like I guess it's the big pop, but then what happens after that is just what like, oh, okay, they fall into the same category. Toni Storm too. She didn't make the pay-per-view. So there you go. So let's talk about the next one, trios match, House of Black. You know, we had a lot of expectations when it came to Aleister Black, Buddy Matthews or Buddy Murphy, and also right there Brody King going against the Death Triangle, the guys that like being like because of injuries, visa problems, COVID, all of that, they can never been able to be the trio that we wanted them to be. And the match was pretty decent again. I mean, the presentation, the entrances are cool. You know, like also like Penta, I think his kid came out also. That was cool to see. But in the end, you know, Aleister Black, of course, delivering like the black mass onto everybody. But the big thing that everybody was waiting for, like, so many months to happen, is Julia Hart kind of turning into like, you know, aligning herself into the House of Black. She turns like, of course, the Mist. Everybody does that. Asuka does it. Everybody does it now, and they get the win with that. So what do you think about this? Because at least, you know, to me, the right winners, yeah, because they need something with this guy. You know, they're too.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta push them, I guess, because Edge and his, you know, group on
Judgment Day.
Yeah, Judgment Day. They're doing their gimmick a lot better than they are. So, you know, they got to start pushing these guys. But
exactly.
No, I mean, to me, way too hokey, way too shitty. I mean, they dead on arrival for this group, and Death Triangle start and stop pushes. They lose here. If they have another match with these guys, they'll probably beat them. If not, next feud they'll win, and then they'll feud with somebody else and lose. It like, you know, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, these guys, like you said, Judgment Day a lot better. You know, in that WWE overcomes AEW. Why? Because they know how to tell sometimes a better story.
And they keep saying how like the Lucha Bros are so over. And I think they are because of their past and what they've done. But eventually, if you don't push these guys legit, nobody's going to pop when they see them.
No, unfortunately. But like, what do you do with Pac? You know, the guy was one of like the main signees.
He could be.
Remember?
He's a pretty good promo, and he's a great singles wrestler. I don't know why he's not in the TNT Championship.
Why doesn't he be like, hey, I want to be on my own. I want my chances. Why can I challenge CM Punk?
Yeah, Pac versus CM Punk would be badass.
Yeah. There you go. So like that will be. Oh, we already revealed who won. You guys knew who won. You know, the title match. It's fine. No. You know, we don't have to like do it like that. But like you said, like out of everybody, the ones that are damaged for me are like Aleister Black or Malachi Black. Why? Because like he should be a singles guy. Also against CM Punk, that will be cool to watch. Pac, all of these guys, and then Penta also. And I don't know why they keep doing that. But at least, you know, in this they send the same concept as WWE. Let's feature everybody in the pay-per-view. They're big names, so let's put them in whatever they want. We can do.
And this one, if you're asking me, if I was the booker of this match, this one.
Oh yeah, and you know, Rampage at most, you know, because the story. I mean, they wanted the new trios titles, so that's going to be the main reason why probably this will be the inaugural champions, like House of Black. Tell me a little bit about this, because I know you're really pissed off about this. Samoa Joe and Adam Cole for the finals of the Owen Hart tournament, and in this one, remember we should have seen this. Maybe like towards the end of the good NXT. Remember when Samoa Joe was the enforcer for William Regal? He had a lot of altercations with Adam Cole. So we should have seen this on WWE, but we ended up seeing here. And good match. You know, Adam Cole, though, I mean, smaller guy. I don't know how you feel about that. Bobby Fish came out, of course, trying to create some distraction for Samoa Joe. But in the end, Adam Cole, baby, he gets the win, and he is the winner of the Owen Hart tournament in the men's side.
Yeah, and I mean, once you saw him win, you kind of already figured who was going to win the women's match, and both those people I feel were completely robbed. I mean, Samoa Joe, if this is what you were going to do, you might as well have saved us a bunch of time on the pay-per-view, had him lose to Kyle O'Reilly, screwed over by Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal and all them. You know, they could have came out somehow, screwed him over, and then Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole could have saved us and had us two minutes here and did a finger poke of doom. Boom, and Kyle O'Reilly goes down and he pins him 1, 2, 3. Oh, you know, I'll do the job for my buddy, for Adam Cole, because, you know, they're friends now. They're not going to wrestle again because this match did nothing for Samoa Joe. It made him look good, but we saw Adam Cole look kind of like a loser for the longest time. You know, nobody remembers that he had a match with a Hangman Adam Page. They remember when him and Orange Cassidy hugged and they jumped off the stage. That's what we remember. We remember how he looked super small and scrawny, and he doesn't look legit anymore. So, to see this guy beat somebody like Samoa Joe, who's a monster, no, that just hurts Joe.
Yeah, it hurts them a little bit, and Adam Cole, winning this is, I guess, a consolation prize. It's like, we're not going to give you the title just yet, but at least, hey, we'll make you the winner of this new tournament, and maybe that will make you have a match at some point. Maybe CM Punk will be, your target. It could be, but like you said, Samoa Joe, everywhere that he goes, besides TNA or the Impact days, he's always considered like a guy that does jobs. At some point, he'll win something else. He won the Ring of Honor, but it's because it's Ring of Honor. That's what he was champion. That's what he's known for. So unfortunately, that's what happened. So now let's talk about the women's side, because you feel the same way, because Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, going against Ruby. We saw this in a previous pay-per-view also, and the same winner. This time was, last time actually was for the title. So the match, they put on good shows. Britt Baker has improved so much, and Ruby has always been a good wrestler. But in the end, reversals after reversals. No help from Reba, no help from Jamie, but in the end, Britt Baker gets the win. She's the inaugural winner on the women's side for the Owen Hart tournament. And Owen Hart's wife came out, delivered a speech. This should have been cut for me also. We don't need a lot of blah, blah, blah.
You should have, I know why they did it for the pay-per-view, whatever, but you should have just did it on the next Dynamite.
Yeah.
Have them win, they celebrate in the ring, they walk backstage, and then done, next match. And then it can be a segment on Dynamite. But, the match, I actually liked this match, and I was into it, and they had me into it for a moment, like when Ruby hit the riot kick, or whatever she calls it now,
yes,
her finish, and she pinned her. I thought, okay, they're going to do it, they had me. She kicks out and everything, and it's like, shit. No, and then I'm like, that's right, Adam Cole won. So, of course, Britt Baker is going to win this thing. The reversal. And then you almost thought like it was Ruby who had it. Then, Britt gets it. And you think she kicks out. The music plays. You hear Britt's music. I don't know. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth. And they're both standing up there. And you're supposed to be like, oh, this is cool. I don't know. They're both heels.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't feel good. Yeah, Owen was a heel for some of his best runs, like against Brett. And and some of the other stuff, but you don't remember him, but you're not remembering him as a heel because he's somebody who died, and here's his widow. So you want it to be like a baby face, like something good. Really?
For me, it would have been a little bit different. For example, if Ruby wins it and Adam Cole, why? Because it's like you just beat my girlfriend,
and also they're like Adam Cole wearing pink. It's almost like set up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Both of them wearing pink. It's like you said, they do it all to set it up. But it's the first one. Hopefully, they don't do that anymore because there's no association. Why? Because Owen Hart was always WWE, and because of the whatever shenanigan, whatever problem they had, conflict with Vince, they should stay away from that name because if it resembles wrestling, but it doesn't resemble the wrestling that he was famous for, and that's WWE. So this will take us probably a minute to talk about this. This is absolutely not needed. Just you need to feature everybody here. Scorpio Sky is the champion, and good thing the heels or the baby faces in this case won. Of course, we got to see this thing with Paige, Tay, Conti, and Sammy. I don't care for this. I have not cared for this in such a long time. It doesn't make any sense to given a prominent side on the pay-per-view. This should be the second match even, or maybe the buy-in. But at least she hit a super kick. I guess she's popular now for getting super kicks. In the end, Scorpio Sky won. We got to see Dan Lambert, Page, all of them celebrating. Ethan Page. No, nobody even remembers who Ethan Page is. But in the end, they got the win. Kazarian just there to get the pin. He got
walked out on by Sammy Guevara. They said screw this, and you know what, Sammy, we said the same thing. Screw this, because this match.
Screw you, Sammy. Yeah.
This match sucked. This was the bathroom break. This was the let me go get something to eat. Let me get some nachos. Let me go take a shit. Nobody cared in the arena cared about this.
No, exactly. I didn't care for this at all. The good thing is they won. The baby faces in this case, Scorpio Sky. I like the new TNT title, the new improvements that they've done. It looks nice. It looks very, important. Hopefully, he is able to defend this with a lot more pride and better contenders. That's what they need. This is another one that for me is a head scratcher. That's why the picture is a little blurry also, because it's why is this on the pay-per-view? Just because Darby Allin and Kyle O'Reilly, they need a match? No, they don't. Kyle O'Reilly has never been a main eventer, and Darby without Sting. I mean, when is the last time that we saw that? Probably the first Dynamite 3 years ago. Okay. In the end, Kyle O'Reilly gets the win, which is good. I mean, I don't care for Darby like too much, but I mean, at least Kyle O'Reilly like stepping out from like the new Elite or like the Undisputed Era 2.0, it's fine. And are we going to see finally a good version of Kyle O'Reilly? I don't know.
I mean, what's the plan here? Because you were pushing Darby Allin, even though they don't win all the time. Him and Sting, or Darby himself would win when it mattered. Yeah. And like you said, here's his first match without Sting. What do we always say? Darby doesn't need Sting. Let him go out there without Sting. First match without Sting, and he loses. So to me, that wasn't good. I actually thought Darby was gonna win. And people might think, oh, well, Kyle's doing two jobs. It's like, well, Adam Cole's winning, and he's Adam Cole's buddy, so it's like whatever. They just win and they're over by association. Darby's one of those guys you need to keep hot, because now to me it feels like they have an agenda, or it's just like, I shouldn't say agenda, but like their booking is like, we're just gonna smash the Undisputed Elite over. We're just gonna get these guys over now. Now it's time for their push.
Maybe they're waiting for Roderick Strong.
Adam Cole won this. Now they're gonna push. Yeah, I mean, but at the expense of Darby. No, this match shouldn't have been on the pay-per-view. If you're gonna feature Darby, if he's that important, feature him to win.
Yeah. Oh, and also, or like do the main event of Dynamite. But like I know now we know what the main event of Dynamite is going to be: the crowning of CM Punk. That's probably going to be the main event. Tell me a little bit about this, because on paper, and also we've seen this where NWA. You remember the first times that we saw NWA, this was actually the match when Thunder Rosa actually held the NWA title against Serena Deeb. Who dethroned Thunder Rosa? Serena. So this on paper was always, a great match. But again, the build-up, maybe the animosity between them is not that believable. But I feel that also the two girls have chemistry. But again, the crowd is tired. It's almost 2.5 hours in the pay-per-view. So the response was not that great. And also these two are not, maybe Serena is not as good as get the crowd pumped. So maybe that's why it suffered. But outside of that, really great wrestling match. If you like wrestling match for what wrestling is supposed to be, you will enjoy this. For example, this move right there. This, you don't see this in every single match on TV.
No, not anymore. That's like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho.
Maybe Danielson also, and the good Jericho. Yeah, they will do something like that. Yeah.
I mean, this was a great match. And like I said, I'm watching it, and even like Jim Ross said, oh, look at that, they're starting with a lockup. Oh my God, they're doing wrestling. Like what's going on here? This is crazy. I mean. And it was a great match, but you said the crowd was kind of sitting there so, because you got to think of all.
Tired.
Because all the garbage we've seen. If you cut out the trios match from earlier, if you cut out the mixed tag team match, you cut out Kyle O'Reilly and Darby Allin, okay. Then you look how condensed the show is. At this point, the crowd's getting hot because they know, okay, we have the tag team match yet, and we have CM Punk and the main event. Okay, it's legit, because you're not having garbage matches like Jericho's.
That drains you. The energy that you have left, they end up draining you. And
so this was a match that really suffered from the overbooking of this card.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody it became so unimportant. Nobody paid attention to it because they were tired. And again, these two girls, maybe Thunder Rosa more than Serena, they're actually able to pump the crowd. For example, when Thunder Rosa did Goldust, and she did
the crowd was into that.
But that's it. But again, it's people are not into the wrestling itself. They're into taunts. And that's not how wrestling should be. At least that's something I can say about it. It's a negative. But in the good exchange back and forth. Serena tried to log the Serena log, but Thunder did a lot of good moves also, figure four. But in the end, the Rosa or the Thunder driver, however you call it, she remains champion. You thought that this was going to happen. Why? Because Thunder is just starting her reign as champion. This is the second, I think, defense, so that's why they did it. It's okay. Who's going to challenge up to that? So that will be interesting to see. At some point, they're going to have to do Jill and Thunder, but I don't know champion versus champion, but I don't know who could be quite yet ready to be the next contender there.
Yeah, the only thing I really think to have Jade booked strong is book a women's triple threat and she don't get pinned. That's the only way. If you want to keep her legit, she don't get pinned, so she can say, "Oh, I was never pinned," blah blah blah. Then she can go right after the main, right after the main women's champion.
It could be. We'll see. Or maybe Toni Storm. Maybe somebody. I don't know who's going to be the next to step up to Thunder Rosa, but good match. Out of all of the matches, probably this I enjoyed the most because, again, professional wrestling. For people that don't know what it is, there you go. This one I didn't enjoy at all because Paul had already said this months ago. Yeah, see, that's why he's like all like gasping and everything. Why? Because this is something that he had said before. Like they're gonna make this like, of course, we saw the Stadium Stampede 2 years ago. We saw that like in like the inaugural session of that. Now they changed the name, but again, they put all the guys in one thing, and that's Anarchy in the arena match. See, already Paul's falling asleep. You know, you guys cannot see that, but I can see it. But you know, this was just bad. I mean, for people that like just like a lot of chaotic situations, just like the camera going from wrestler to wrestler, blood everywhere. I mean, they gave us like a hardcore match, which is fine. You know, we saw Eddie Kingston bloody. He brought like gasoline. All of that.
It was essentially just it was essentially just a jump cut from the guys just beating. It was like an episode of Jackass or something. They're just like beating each other up. And, you know, with like hard punches, you know, cutting each other open, throwing each other into barbed wire, you know, fighting each other in the arena in front of fans all over the place. And even if you like that, I feel this was too long. I feel even if we're into this, you're watching it and you're like, what the fuck? Like, do something else. Like, is this going to end? What's going on here? And it did end eventually. And did the baby faces, did the baby faces win? Did
you never thought he was going to be pinned?
Did Eddie Kingston pin Chris Jericho? Like the whole thing should have went? No. Jericho and Hager choked out Danielson. He passed out. Aubrey called the match. So the one guy who was the most over out of any guy in this entire match 3 months ago is now the guy who got pinned.
Yeah.
Or the guy who was the defeat. Because he didn't submit or anything, so and the guy who passed out.
As a singles guy, he turned heel. He was so relevant. He was having a great heel run. What happens now? He joins to this club with like Moxley and Yuta and William Regal, all of that. No reason to do that.
Why wasn't this Wheeler Yuta? This here, Danielson.
He had the pin.
He shouldn't have been in this match. It should have been Wheeler Yuta instead.
Yeah, but like I don't understand why. Well, I mean, this is all politics. I can tell you that much. This is Jericho saying, "Hey, you know, I want my guys to win just because this is my new group." But again, this is probably his worst work. And I will tell you, I love Chris Jericho. I'll always say that. But as a fan, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut and not say that this is his worst work. You know, this is just terrible. And because the group is not believable, you know, he's trying to recreate what? The Inner Circle one more time? Why does he always need a group? No, I don't understand that. And again, these guys are not Santana and Ortiz maybe at the beginning. Remember when
because probably when they're booked good and they win matches, you can say to all these guys, oh yeah, he can talk to them, and then they'll oh Chris, you're so great, and they'll stroke his ego and he loves it.
Yeah, but it's not good. So like I mean, like, and also to have Danielson in the pin, I didn't like that. I mean, like I said, those hardcore matches we've seen in so many times. You know, Kingston, Moxley, they're the kings of that. You know, that's normal. But see, Danielson even fell out of place because he's not used to have those matches. He completely was the outcast from that. I didn't care for it as much because again, the camera keeps switching. Santana and Ortiz don't look important, and there are the guys that like are feuding with Jericho. There are the guys that's supposed to be. They just added Moxley, Kingston, and Danielson because all big names. What do we do with them? Well, we don't know. You know, why? Let's do that.
Exactly.
So let's talk about. Well, go ahead, Paul. Finish.
Oh no. That was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, so like you know, let's go to the guy that is actually got married on Friday, Andrade, and Mr. Flair now. Mr. Flair, we gotta say because I don't think Charlotte adopted his last name. So Mr. Flair is like talking about, hey, nobody supports me, I'm bullshit, and nobody wants to be my friend, they all hate me, you know. I'm gonna bring another Hispanic guy, another guy that speaks my language, finally, you know, it's gonna be Rush. He's a former Ring of Honor champion, he was actually injured, that's why he was out. But him and Andrade, they are the Ingobernables in New Japan. Tetsuya Naito got that name from them. So like this is going to be interesting to see what do they do, and finally Andrade is going to have somebody that understands him because Chavo, like that association lasted like 3 weeks. That was it. So that's going to be at least interesting. Paul, tell me a little bit about the tag team match. This was actually really good, but again, Keith Lee, singles guy. You know, Isaiah Scott or like Rick Land, whatever, singles guy. You know, Power Hobbs, Ricky Starr, singles guys. Oh, what do we do with these guys? Oh, let's put them on tag teams and let's go face the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy.
I mean, Hobbs and Starks, I don't mind it because they're at least Team Taz. But yeah,
Yes.
the other two guys were just thrown together. And again, this was a match where I would be into it if the pay-per-view was 5 matches. It was too long. By this point in it, I didn't really want to see a triple threat because I knew it was going to be a spot fest. It was going to be everybody diving on everybody just doing big moves, waiting for their spot. It's essentially what it was, and I knew they were all going to want to get their shit in. They weren't going to say, "Hey, this show's running long. Let's condense it. Let's go quick." No, they dragged it out. It was long. They had their match. I couldn't get into it, and I thought, okay, come on, let's see. Is Keith Lee going to get the big pin here? He to pin Ricky Starks or somebody like that. Maybe Hobbs is going to pin Luchasaurus or somebody. I don't know. Whoever. Nope. We see the baby faces. They get the win here. Nobody expected that, and this is the team that keeps winning that I don't think anybody wants to see keep winning.
No, they had a better run than the Lucha Brothers, and that's very annoying. They had a way better run as champions, and then for them to be better than the Lucha Bros, that kind of sucks for me. Lucha Bros are way better tag team, but it's just because why? They have Jungle Boy, and everybody believes the Jungle Boy is going to be the starter breakthrough. That's how I break even, from the screen. That's how, because it's the Jungle Boy. So that's why pretty much they give them all these wins. Christian is there. I don't know why he's there. You might as well go join Judgment Day. Like why not? And
he literally, Tony Khan signed all these ex-WWE guys, and he pretty much made them all announcers or interviewers or managers.
Yeah. There's nothing for the Big Show. Remember? Oh, yeah, I still want to wrestle. I still want matches. I still want opportunities. Where's the Big Show now? Is he? I don't want to say catering, but is he announcing? Is he doing something? Like you said, he just did it.
Mark Henry does one segment on Rampage.
The face-to-face. Oh, okay. Let's go here, yeah. And yeah, great. Oh yeah, you guys know how to comment. You guys know how to get me excited. So let's talk about the main event finally, and that's Hangman Page against CM Punk. All of us thought that CM Punk had at least a 90% chance to become champion. Why? Because he's undefeated, and that's what he was claiming for after the feud with MJF. Hangman Page, unfortunately, has had, unless you're Tony Khan, he says he is the best AEW World Champion. He says that he's the best out of all of them. I don't think that nobody can agree to that. But Hangman Page has the worst run as champion, so I guess that's why they flipped the switch, and now he lost that belt. But what do you think about the match? Because we saw a little bit of Hangman Page trying to be heel in this bout.
Yeah, well, we've seen him be heel for these pretty much since this feud started, and the match I like because in the beginning, man, the intensity, just the way that the punches they hit on each other were like legit potatoes. They were like legit punches they were landing on each other, and it was like, okay, man, you almost thought this was a real fight, and you were getting into it, and just like the way that they sold everything, the injury, Hangman later on in the match, Hangman and Page did the moonsault. He sold his knee. CM Punk, like you said, they were mocking each other, everything. And when Adam Page did the go to sleep, and then Punk went to go do the buckshot, and his knee buckled. And actually earlier in the match, when Hangman and Page was going for the buckshot early on, CM Punk countered, so he kept being able to counter the buckshot. Hangman tried it again, countered everything, like you said, right there. At the end of it, after these guys gone through hell, beating each other up, the ref takes the bump. Hey, Adam Page, do I use the belt? Do I be legit? He has one moment of legitness. He thinks of the Dark Order and them eating ice cream on the lawnmower. He's like, no, let me be legit. He puts it down, and then CM Punk gets him, the go to sleep, 1, 2, 3, and you have yourself a new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And I think that's what everybody wanted. You can do so many feuds now, and he's so over, and the fact that people know he's so good. He's the world champion. He came back. He proved all the doubters wrong. Whoever, the doubters may have been. I don't think there were many. Yeah. I didn't say I don't think there were many, but I know there's some. But, this is great. And with Adam Page, I think if you do anything with him, turn him heel. Let's see how a heel run does.
Probably a rematch. That will be the next thing that happens, and then we will see the first contender with CM Punk. And like you said, hey,
But this was another match. It was good.
Years,
it was good, and I thought the crowd was into it a little bit. But man, again, if this match started maybe an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours into the pay-per-view, I think people would have liked this match a lot more.
Well, yeah, like you said, because this is already starting and like already 11:45, 11:50. So like, I mean, I understand that you want to showcase everybody. That's a given. But again, yeah, like there's way too many matches, and if you think that the crowd is going to be hot towards the end, is actually when is it over?
No.
Because there's no passion, there's no wrestling fan that's going to be hyped for every single match and for every single move or anything like that. So unfortunately, but it's been a constant from AEW because their pay-per-views are always long. They always have to feature everybody long, like so many matches. But the one thing of them is that they do them every 3 months, every 4 months. So that's why we don't see a lot of them. So I guess that's the only way that we can give them a pass. But like you said, CM Punk being the AEW champion is fine. Unfortunately, the only guy that is being AEW champion that is from AEW is Hangman Page. Everybody else is just being former WWE guys. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Soul of the Air, or maybe if he stays. We'll see. There's a lot of variables.
At least CM Punk, he didn't make himself in WWE. He was the same guy in Ring of Honor. At least, so you can whatever. He gets a pass, but yeah, no, I agree. Everybody else, it's funny, and I didn't know Hangman Adam Page will end it with this little thing. Trivia note: they mentioned that his title reign was longer than Jericho's. It doesn't feel like it.
Oh, yeah, well, like you said, probably.
They mentioned it on commentary. They said it was, but it didn't feel like it.
Didn't know. Jericho felt a lot longer, but like if you think about it, May, February. Oh yeah, to me, it's maybe by days, because I remember Jericho, he became champion, I think, in May of 2019, and then he dropped it on Moxley in February in Revolution 2020, right before COVID. So it might be around there. So maybe 5-6 months around that. I mean, the longest one I think is John Moxley, or maybe the longest one is Kenny Omega. So
yeah, probably Omega.
Probably Omega, because he got a really long run. But we'll see how long CM Punk can actually keep that belt. So thank you so very much, family, for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, comment, let us know what you guys feel about the pay-per-view. You love it, you hate it, and you two don't know what you're talking about. We want to know everything that is in your head, and we will be addressing every single one of you. So where can they find us, Paul?
Guys, make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...